Good afternoon. So, in this video, I'm going to kind of talk about everything that I got out of this Latin American course. So, I have to say that everything that I learned was relatively new to my mind, some of it surprising, some of it I had already known going in, but I think that my perspective has changed a lot on the whole regions of Latin America as a result of this course. So I remember in the first video that I made about, what I already knew about Latin America, I kind of talked about like, yeah, I've been to um, Guatemala, Mexico City, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Belize. So that gave me a good background knowledge coming into the course. But uh, then kind of getting into the more specifics of like what I really got out of this course, I would say one of the biggest things is how much interaction there was going on between Latin America and the rest of the world. Like it was new to me that like Argentina exported raw goods to Britain and other European countries, or that Latin American countries even exported to Europe, period. That's something I never knew before this course because these Latin American countries just started out as like tribes living there, didn't really have much of a structured government. So it was kind of easy for me to get into this mindset of like, oh, well, how are these Latin American countries ever going to grow their economies if they have tribes? Well, thanks to the European explorers, they were able to develop economies and become government run countries and produce. And although most foreigners who have never been to any Latin American country would view them as poor and economically weak, a lot of them are not. A lot of them are economically strong due to their strong export oriented economies. And if you think about it, these European countries weren't able to produce some of these exports that Latin American countries did. For example, corn. Well, I guess they could produce corn, but they couldn't produce tropical fruits, uh, or they didn't. European countries didn't have gold to mine, uh, and then they didn't have guano either, guano fertilizer. But another one of my big takeaways from this course is that there was actually a lot of job opportunities in these Latin American countries. Like, for example, think about the Japanese immigration to Peru. I never I never even knew about that until I read about it in this course. But like that example and factory job opportunities opening up in Tijuana, I that was like one thing that really opened up my mind to how these Latin American countries really grew and expanded economically. I would also say that another thing that I never knew was Britain's involvement in Latin America. I never I never knew that they had invested in Argentina or other Latin American countries because none like very few countries in Latin America can speak English proficiently. If they do, it's like very minimal. But that's kind of why I had the impression like Britain had nothing to do with Latin America when they invested railroads in certain Latin American countries. But overall, I would say that this course was interesting because of the new things that I learned, like Britain's involvement in Latin America, um, Japanese immigration to Latin America, and the economic side of Latin American countries. So, Dr. Gabiola, I just want to thank you for uh, presenting me this opportunity to learn more about Latin America. I think it's been a very eventful 6 weeks, and I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the summer and the fall semester. And thank you.